Good evening, everybody. Uh, look, just correct what she said is I'm doing a presentation. I have no presentation. I know you guys are listening all day. I'm just going to have a little interactive session. I don't want to be, giving a speech or something, but I'll give you some facts and figures. And the topic is I'm talking about is investing in Australia and route to residency in Australia, right? And for that, I have obviously I am a real estate agent and property developer in Australia, based in Melbourne. Gambit Property offers our investor a very innovative investment opportunities especially in Melbourne, but all over Australia. For immigration and residency pathway, I can talk about a little bit, but as all of you know, or like any other country, Australia is a very highly compliant and highly regulated country. And for that, I have my friend Richard Foster here. If anybody have any questions about Australian residency, you can talk to Richard. And I have another friend of mine here with me, Rachel. I think she is not here, but yeah, she is here to talk about. She's representing Siemens Homes. Siemens Homes is one of the largest individual home building company in Australia. Just to why you invest Australia? What is Australia? I mean, I know everybody talk about investing in Canada, UK, Dubai, also all these things, and I travel a lot myself for all these countries to to understand what are the opportunities and what they're talking about. Look, Australia is a very different to any other country. Everybody says it's Australia is a little expensive, little this. Yes, it is, but it's very different lifestyle. Very less people, very less thing to worry about. Relax and in a superb lifestyle, especially for kids. My kids born there. I'm very happy. I make the decision to live in Australia for the sake of my children only. But I hope everybody can do that. I did myself. I understand a lot of things in terms of my immigration and residency and how you get that, because when I talk about this, I talk very passionately because I did it myself. And if I did it, lot of people can do that, right? And Australia is, just to give you a few things, why live and invest in Australia. $2 trillion economy. Employment rate is low as around 5%. Record low interest rate. Official cash RBI rate is 1%. Other countries have less as well. I mean, Japan have zero. Japan have nothing. But very secure economy and very low inflation rate. Very So these things. If you see the Melbourne, especially Melbourne being in top. Most livable city in the world for long time, for not last from 2 years, is second now, but still the what makes Melbourne is most livable city is a lot of things. If you see Australia, we have about six universities in the world top 100 universities, and two in top 50, and very low density population, ranked 7th in the world for best quality of life, ranked 6th best healthcare in the world, and very renowned lifestyle opportunity. And for the visa purposes, Richard can give you more information. A lot of state sponsorship program available for some visas. The property we have here is mostly Australian known for big land. So when you talk about selling apartments, we do have apartments in CBD areas of all metro cities, but normally if you go a little bit around above 20k 30k, we sell house and land, and we are here few projects which are selling for house and land only. And look, I don't have much to say. I'm tired as well. You all tired. If anybody have any questions, please ask. And I want to have a very it's no lecture, it's no presentation, but if you have any question, anything, I'm happy to explain that. And otherwise, you have all uh, very good investing overseas. And I know in India a lot of people come to Melbourne and see us and say we want to invest here. Why we invest in Australia when we can have the very interesting question I come across all the time from people in India coming to Melbourne is, oh, if we invest 2.5 crore, average property size is cost and size is like $500,000, $5 lakh Australian dollar, which is about 2.5 crore rupees. And people say, look, if I invest 2.5 crore here, or maybe if I just put this 2.5 crore, and you have 7 to 11% growth, and rental yield is about 5%, 8%, sometime depends on which area you buy. Then if I put this money in the bank in India, I will get 6% interest rate. Yes, very good. You can. But what else you can get other than 5% rental return is capital growth. And if in the history of Australian research, what I did is from 1960, Australia have a track record of capital growth in the property 7 to 11% is smooth. Some of the suburbs have even more than this, but this is average. And I don't think any other country, if it might be, but I don't think any other country have that much of a smooth growth. And obviously, growing opportunity, the room to grow. My friend Mr. Prashant Ajmera is talking about. His knowledge is amazing. I can't even match that. But Canada is favorite. Yeah, that's right. Canada is good, but Australia, from my point of view, have more. Canada, UK, USA, all these countries have equal opportunities, amazing opportunities, and I'm not against that. Everybody have their individual interest and what they want to do. But Australia, what room to grow Australia have is none of that country can match. I can guarantee you that, right? Sorry. As I just said about, if you go house and land, it's about 500,000, 5 lakh dollars. Yeah. If you go apartments and all, you can go one bedroom apartment from about $300,000. Australian dollars. I'm talking Australian properties, so it's all Australian dollars. No, unfortunately not, but there is a pathway. Look, as Mr. Ajmera explained you, you can have a visa wise, if you want permanent residency straight away or very smooth way, you have to invest minimum. There is a business immigration things, which is innovative business visa. There are few very, Australia is getting now little relaxed about these things. They are introducing a lot of new visas, like innovation visas, and you can get in different regional visas. Regional, if you want to go and live in Melbourne, Sydney, and metro cities, it's different. But if you want to go live in regional areas, 3 hours, 6 hour, 5 hours drive from all these metro cities, which is still beautiful, infrastructure is still the same. It's just less people living there, and government of Australia wants more and more people go out of metro cities to go these regional areas. If anybody happy to go regional areas, there are a lot of regional visas available, which we can give you in detail. Richard can help you in that. But yeah, there are some new visas coming in. This is the first time in Australian history, Australia opening up with unskilled labor visa for for some specific regional areas, for some specific businesses. So, and then there is other investment visas on some state like South Australia and Tasmania, where not many people there, and government want people to go there. Not, lot of, now the population growth in Melbourne is about 1,400 people per week, and that's a lot considering the country, the total population is 24 million. Like whole Delhi, whole Australia live in Delhi, you know. So that's where the government of Australia wants people to spread out, live in different areas, live in regional areas, and where the opportunity wise, some people thought, you know what, if you go regional area, uh, it's not opportunity there. Infrastructure wise, school wise, quality of school, quality of hospitals, quality of lifestyle, almost the same. Other than that, obviously, in Melbourne you have more jobs, more offices, more companies, more this. But regional areas is no less than that in comparison to how many people live there. A small town, people like even 1,000 people living there. If you have few companies there, if you have some few small cafes, you have enough opportunity and you have a better lifestyle. So no, no, no. You're linking two things. When I talk about 500,000 Australian dollar to invest in property, that's the minimum size in investing in property. That's investing in property does not mean that's you can get permanent residency. But you have a pathway. What it does is, and when I say $500,000, uh, you can get as an overseas investor from Australian local banks. You can get about 60, 50, 60, even 70% loan. So your investment was only about 200,000, just 1 crore. And in 1 crore, you can own a property and clear title property in your name in Australia. But what it does is, it does not give you any extra point for your residency. It does not give you anything. What it does is, it gives you commitment. Now, when you have a property in your name in Australia, and then you have a loan in your name in Australia, what it means is, you have a commitment, you have some commitment in Australia, right? That gives you a pathway. It's a little slow process, but that gives you a pathway to get a residency. You know? But otherwise, if you want residency quick with investing 1.5 million, you invest 1.5 million, that's a pretty quick way to go and get a residency, like Canada, like anywhere else. But Australia is very particular about, this, that. It's not, it's very relaxed. Australia have an open immigration policies, but at the same time, because of the population and because of the infrastructure, they're very particular about the infrastructure. If like we're doing a development which we are promoting here, it's called Mount Eliza, and one is Underbank, and one is Austin. So these projects, when you do these projects, so we got this approval done. The process of approval is, you have to do a plan. That's everybody do. You do town planning, you have to do it. But how many parks you're gonna get there? How many children's playgrounds you have to have there? That's all the guidelines you have to follow. If you don't do it, you don't get it approved. And then you do traffic reports. How many people gonna move in these houses? How many? What the pollution situation gonna be there, moving these many people, how many shops you want. So they're very particular about the lifestyle. They don't want that suddenly this area only 50,000 people living there, and you build another 700 house, which means another 2-3,000 people gonna start living here very, or 30,000 people start going to live here. They're not going to approve that. They have to understand the infrastructure situation, and Australia is very, very particular about those things. And that makes Australia very unique of any other, to any other country in the world, And normally, if I see all these things I'm saying and doing is my own personal experience. I'd like to share my own personal experiences, how I gone from doing some business in Delhi, they pass out from a civil engineering, a young guy. I decided to go to Australia, and I did it myself. I did my business immigration 15 years back, and before that I used to go on business trips every year, two times a year, three times a year. But look, the personal experience, my personal experience is, and I tried going. It's not that I just gone to Australia and I thought, okay, I'm just going to get a residency here. I travel a lot everywhere. I travel, Dubai many times. I saw Dubai is a good people. Most of my colleagues pass out from engineering, they're going to Dubai easy. 1.5 hour time difference, very short flight. Why you go Australia that too far, which is like 12-hour flight? But it is a reason. The reason is because the when you go country like that, the equal opportunity system in Australia is very different. I've been to Canada, I've been to all other countries. The equal opportunity system is not as good as Australia anywhere, especially in Middle East. It's very different. But in Australia, if you don't break the laws, if you follow the laws, if you do everything right, nobody, I can tell you with very, very confidence, because a lot of my friends from India living there and doing very successful business, being very, very successful, just did it themselves and did it right. And nobody can stop you doing anything what you want to do. That's for sure. Law, if you're doing anything wrong, nobody can stop you to got busted. So it's not easy. So that happened in Australia, and Chinese people buying property in Australia like crazy from last so long, and investing in business doing this. But in last 2 years, what I noticed and what happened is a lot of Indian investment, increase in Indian investment. There are a lot of Indian people investing in Australia, which I feel very, very good, because the opportunity there and the room to grow there. I keep mentioning this because there is no comparison between Canada, UK, USA, and Australia. Every country have their unique system. Every country have their unique things, but Australia is very different, just for this big reason. The room to grow in Australia is have no match to all these other countries. So I think that's it. Thank you very much for listening to me, and I hope you had enough information. Anybody wants to know anything, please let me know. I am here. I am here tomorrow as well. And Richard is here. Rachel is here. We want to be a very interactive thing. So we don't want to be just tell you, oh, invest in this, do this, do this. I'm not here to tell you anything. I'm here to share my personal experiences. I'm here to give you enough information so that people can make their own informed decisions. Thank you very much.